Well, hello, ladies. Welcome back, or gentlemen, to the Master Menopause Metabolism podcast with Coach Andrea T. I will help you get to the bottom of what is really going on, why you can't lose weight, why you're not feeling good in midlife, and not just for women in menopause, but women who are 35 plus, even women with PCOS and issues with IUD, birth control in your 20s. Like I am seeing more and more craziness, and I just want to shed some light on that for you. So, buckle your seatbelt. Today, we're going to talk about what foods you want to, stick with, and which one you and fads, for diets that you really just want to forget. So without further ado, let's just go. So I'm super excited to share this topic today. It's one of my favorites, and it's one of the most misconstrued or misunderstood things. And so basically, we are going to no BS on this. We're going to talk about, why restrictive diets fail for any woman over the age of 35, 40, the three nutrition mistakes that almost every woman makes in perimenopause, midlife macros, how to feel fat loss without starving or having cravings. And this is a real thing. And then I'm going to actually take you down a sample of what might work better. I would just put a disclaimer is that one person's way that they're eating is not going to work for you. And I think we should do a podcast around that because for some reason, the marketing around women's weight loss has basically touted these plans, low calorie, that one size fits all. So I see things like that, like if you just intermittent fast, or if you do keto, or if you do low carb, Atkins, right? Or if you do the Weight Watchers points, it's going to work for everyone. And what are they trying to do is hook you in. And I fell for it myself in my 20s and 30s, and it worked. It did work until my body fought back and said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to give you the results. And I'm going to explain why in midlife that starts to work against you. So let's dive in. So, why restrictive diets fail over 40? So, you don't have a willpower problem, you have a hormone problem. And I want to be really real about that because I think as women, if we are guaranteed some kind of results, we'll do it. I mean, I don't think the discipline is an issue, but the reason why it doesn't become long lasting is because it's not sustainable. It's not a way of life. It's not something you could actually do, but has nothing to do with your discipline or your willpower. So, extreme calorie cutting triggers things like lower thyroid output equals a slower metabolism. So remember, the thyroid is the thermostat to your entire body and hormones. And so when that output goes down, everything slows down, and your body does that to protect itself. So it totally makes sense. So when you calorie cut or don't get the right nutrients for your body, that's what's going to happen. And so then that is kind of like this ripple effect, right? So then that increases your cortisol, which equals more belly fat storage. So adrenals are something in our, body that basically stress comes in through the brain. We have our pineal gland, we have our thyroid, we have our adrenals, and then that pumps out the hormones that our body uses. And so when cortisol is up, it becomes an issue. But more often than that, I see low cortisol because the women that have done this for a long time, their adrenals basically do something called like a shutdown. It just stops making, just like your thyroid goes down, your cortisol eventually shuts down too. And I would say that's more often what I see is we're coming in not as like, oh, this person has high cortisol, let's help them. It's more, wow, they're so over the top. They don't even have cortisol. So they just don't have energy. Obviously, their body's not going to lose weight. No matter what they do, it's just going to kind of battle and then create more inflammation. They also get muscle loss, and that equals long-term fat gain. So I had so many women come into my gym And we would put them on a scale where we would look at their water weight, their bone, their skeletal, all of that. And it was the women, I'm not kidding, the women who were like 160, but have belly fat and not looking good. And then we would weigh them and then look at like, oh, they have 85 pounds of lean skeletal muscle mass, and the rest is, what have you. And those are the ladies I would worry the most about, because it's like, okay, they're going to go back into an extreme diet because they don't like the way their body looks. And let's just go like if there was a pyramid, so losing weight is here, okay? And then building muscle is here. And they don't go together, okay? So they actually work against each other. So if you're not eating enough, because you're calorie restricting, you're over here. You're not building muscle. And so when you starve or don't get the right nutrients, and the reason I say that for a reason, I have a beautiful butterfly outside my window right now. So anyway, that's one of my spiritual kind of like, you're on the right road. So yay. But anyway, basically you're burning off more muscle, or you're certainly not building it. And so a lot of the ladies that come into our program, we really help them to get the right nutrients, make sure they're taking them in right. And then also, we're not in a fat loss phase right off the bat. So they have to kind of earn it, meaning morally, we have to get some muscle on their body and get their metabolic rate up. And that means by eating more. So here's a takeaway. Starving yourself is the fastest way to keep the weight on in midlife. So number two, the third nutrition mistake, or the three mistakes that almost every woman makes in menopause. So I want to just kind of like, are we all eating like it's 1995? So, and I understand it, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, let's dig in. So with Maslow, with basically, or Pavlov's dogs, if you will, the building blocks of brain and therapy kind of talk is, when you give a reward to the dog, they go back to it over and over again. And I feel like, ladies, that's who we become. So when they do, like, are we low fat, carb phobic, tiny salads, those are all like eating like it's 1995. So you need protein and healthy fats to keep blood sugar and hormones stable, and literally you need calories. And then number two is snacking all day because it's healthy. Totally did the Body for Life. I'm a guilty woman here. Didn't work for me, of course. I did the Dean Ornish low fat. I did it all. Definitely a vain woman here, and I'm not going to deny it. I want to look good, and it's important to me. And yeah, I didn't know the key to this, and I tried to find it on my own. So it's been a long journey, but I did the 6 small meals. So, and it's still kind of a thing. And like, I have to pat myself on the back when I eat a large meal and sit down and eat less frequently. And I'll tell you why. It really balances out your blood sugar. So basically, when you eat a really solid breakfast with 30 more grams of protein, plus you get like 10 to 12 grams of fiber, it's going to set you up for good blood sugar for the rest of the day. But then if you ate again in like 2 hours and then 2 hours after that, basically your blood sugar is doing this roller coaster all day long. So grazing keeps your insulin high. It locks in fat. Meals need 4 to 5 hours between them. They need to be bigger. So this is just scientifically kind of proven. And then people who are ignoring protein, especially at breakfast. So you're like, oh, I'm going to have my fruit and my oatmeal and, start my day off, or I'm going to have bagel. I don't even know, women could be having bagels, but more I feel like it would be like fruit or, or just skipping breakfast. That is, basically going to cause an issue because you're not going to have enough time in your day to get in more than 100 grams. And like, I've gotten to the point with women where I'm like, you know what, cool. If you can just get in 100 grams, this is what it would look like, and we build them up to that. But like honestly, that is the lowest threshold, and so really, what's recommended is a lot more than that, and it means that you would be losing muscle if you're eating under 100 grams a day, and you're going to have a slower metabolism to boot. So that is, we've got to catch up here, ladies. It's time to throw away that 1995 metabolism and upgrade for a new one, because it is time. And it's not like you can't start now. So I also don't want you to feel freaked out, but just start doing it. Third is midlife macros, how to fuel fat loss without starving. So here's the formula that we kind of use. And I hate to say this because it's kind of a lie too. Everybody is different. I don't have anyone come in and slam dunk one set of macros, okay? Basically, a lot of the ladies we work with, there's so much to do on the front end with inflammation, resetting their metabolic set point, getting their body to trust again and start fat burning. That's where we go. And so, but I mean, here's a little generic one. Okay. So protein is 35% of your whole calories. Okay. So that's 100 to 130 grams daily, which is muscle saving gold. Carbs are around 30%. So focus on veggies, high fiber carbs. A lot of women don't even know that fruit and vegetables have carbs in them. I think they know fruit does, but that vegetables have a lot of carbs too. So you can do this with sweet potatoes, brown rice. Those are all great. Oats, that kind of thing. Even white rice is good. And then a white potato, fine, whatever. 100 to 120 grams daily usually. And then fats need to be around 30%. So this is where I think it's gotten a little off kilter, is when keto came into play. They were like, eat avocados, eat nuts, have olive oil. Like I have women taking tablespoons of olive oil in the morning. Fine, but I'm like, dang, and flax oil, that kind of thing. It's good, but it's like, wow, if you saute your vegetables then and you cook your eggs, let's say with an avocado spray, and then you saute vegetables at night, like my husband made pesto the other night with chicken, totally good with bonza pasta, which is a protein pasta. But I knew it was like crazy amounts of calories just because of the pesto that it was soaked in. So fat is like a very dense, small amount goes a long way. I also started measuring peanut butter, almond butter, nuts, that kind of thing, because yeah, you can really overdo it fast with that. So when I say 30%, I mean it. So that's around 50 grams a day. And just remember all of your meats usually that you're going to eat, and depending on your yogurt and all of the cottage cheese, dairy, if you're eating that, that also has fat in it, not to mention the olive oil, the nuts. So this could get over 50 pretty quickly. So just keep an eye on that. That's the one thing you probably want to measure out. And then 25 to 30 grams of fiber. So estrogen detox, gut health, it's the broom, and it's not funny, it's for real. So let's talk about how we would hormone balance some guidelines. So we're going to eat 3 meals and a protein rich snack if needed. So 4 times a day, you're going to open up, so typically I'll put collagen in my coffee with some whole milk and my espresso to start my morning. So that's kind of my protein rich snack. And I might do like a cookies and cream Bear Bells or something bar along with it. So it's like I got a little protein. That's an easy breakfast if I just don't have time, okay? And then my meals have 30 to 40 grams of protein. And so dinner's easy. We usually always have a meat, a sweet potato, a vegetable, a salad. And then I don't do a ton of dressing. I'll do just a red wine vinegar, lemon juice. I love salt, like Himalayan salt on top. I just love it. So basically, and then you just got like lunch and, one other. So very, very easy. Do protein at every meal. It stabilizes blood sugar, keeps you less hungry. I thought I was going to cheat this last week because I was like, you know what? I've been so good forever. I'm not going to prioritize protein. I don't care. I'm just going to eat less. I'm going to have this or that. Well, by not like immediately, but I can tell you by day 6, I was like going for chips and cookies and wanting more sweets and whatnot than ever. So, and I was like, this is weird. I usually don't crave these things. And it's like, yep, that's what happens when you don't have enough protein. So it can happen as little as like 6 days. Your body just starts like needs the energy. It starts eating its muscle, things like that. So if you keep your protein up, you're not going to come against those things. So let's just kind of talk about a sample day of eating again. So you could start out your morning with a breakfast. And then if you are privy to Kevin's meals, I think that's amazing because Kevin's meals are pre-packaged, they're very protein rich, and they tend to have fiber as well. So if you can have that for lunch, very easy. Breakfast could be a cup of egg whites. We could do that in a shake, and you could do that with some collagen, a protein powder, and some ice, and then you can put flax in it, and then you could also do blend it all together, and then you could put your collagen in too. So it's awesome. And if you know about PB2, I mean that's 50 grams of protein right there. The next meal could be, tuna packets, and so two of those was 30 grams of protein. No issues with that. And then you could do like some baby carrots, and then make up some Greek yogurt, put some ranch dressing, the powdered kind or, whatnot, and make yourself, or taco seasoning, make yourself a dip. And then you could do cucumbers. I mean, just super easy with an apple. It's like there's a great meal, and you could eat it in your car. For a snack, you could do a Bear Bells. And then when you get to dinner, like you could do a pork loin along with a sweet potato and some broccoli or cauliflower. And then you could have, a salad on the side. Great, and then you even have some room for maybe some air pop popcorn later on in the night. I mean, it's a really great day. And then don't forget about liquids. Like I drink a gallon of water a day. I also have hot teas, turmeric and ginger that I love, that it comes from Aldi. And then I have also kombucha. So I'll make like I take a little diet tonic, half of, 4 ounces of kombucha, some lemon juice, and I'll put that in a nice fancy glass, and I'll have a couple of those at night. It's not like you can't treat yourself, but just, beware of the constant snacking. It's not the way to go. So I cannot wait. We're going to talk next week about how to talk to your doctor when you know something is off. And if you would like a sample plan, you can go to my Stand store or just make a comment below and I'll post it. And in my Stand store, I have a 7-day optimized eating plan that will help you start to get on track right away, complete with a grocery list, lots of different foods you can choose from that you can customize, and that will get you started on this. So thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in to Master Menopause Metabolism. And I'm excited to do another one next week. So just let me know, Andrea Tornes. I'm always happy to do a diagnostic call with you. I'm here to help. That's what this is all about.